All right, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to jump right into it. And we're going to stream for about probably 30 minutes to an hour tonight. We have a variety of topics, but this first one we're going to talk about today is this new Tesla payment that they're advertising at $399 a month. We're going to talk about where it's actually being posted and what does this mean? Does this mean that they're somewhat starting to factor in maybe the tax credit for Tesla leasing, or is it something else? But we're going to jump into it if you're just joining in. But before we do that, let's roll that intro real quick. All right, so thanks for watching a stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, but more on that later. All right, so let's take a look at this. It's posted straight front and center right here on Tesla.com. You can see right here, Tesla.com, Tesla Model 3. Leasing is now started at $399 a month. So what does this mean, right? It used to be a little bit higher. I want to say it was like $400 and something before that, but right now it's posted right on the homepage that you can lease a brand new Tesla for $399 a month. If we were to try and dissect this order or dissect this breakdown a little bit, you can see right here on the leasing tab, or right when you get down to actually go to the financing options of a Tesla vehicle, you can see it's $4,500 down, 36 month, 10,000 miles a year, with a full 50/50, $5,594 due at signing. Now, of course, this is not factoring any state taxes that you have or any sort of fees, local DMV fees, or anything like that. And that brings it to $399 a month. Lease potential after savings is, after the 3-year gas savings of $2,100 over 3 years, then it's $341 a month. This does not factor in any state taxes, any registration fees, or anything like that your state might have. So just be aware of that. That might be another 5 to 10% a month easily with that. So, but this is pretty interesting, right? Because for a while, Tesla was not including this $7,500 tax credit with leasing. All these other companies out there, BMW, Audi, all these other luxury companies out there, even Volkswagen, factor in the $7,500 tax credit as a line item discount. Of course, this still doesn't really say that it's part of this transaction here. It's not line item as a $7,500 discount, but this is a lower payment than before. It definitely is than what it was before. I want to say it was like $400, even $500 a month, at least on this leasing section. So they're doing something here to try and get this payment lower. Of course, we can't really see it as a line item 7,500, but this brings the question, like, are you considering leasing now because of this? Like, is this a pretty good payment or not? Like, definitely some pretty interesting stuff, right? So jumping to, something that I found from Chris, he actually broke down a New Jersey lease. Definitely some pretty crazy stuff. So shout out to Chris Dungeon on Twitter. This is a Tesla Model 3 lease for New Jersey. No tax on electric vehicles in New Jersey. So worst case amount that he's saying that it's a $590 a month, $91 a month payment with a 15,000 mile per year option. And then replaces gas bill of $175 a month. Electricity isn't free. It's 4 cents a mile in New Jersey. Call it $50 a month. A $466 a month lease in New Jersey. So if Tesla really wants to like push out some vehicles, I mean, they would have to, this will probably spread around for sure in the New Jersey market, because that's huge that there's no tax on electric vehicles in New Jersey. So this is, I would say, I would put my stamp on it. This is a pretty slick deal. That's for sure, just because there's no taxes at all in New Jersey on an electric vehicle. So maybe if we were to factor this in, I mean, what other fees are there? There's of course destination fee. There's probably some random DMV fees, but this could really be close to a $399 a month lease on a Model 3, which I think it's worth it. That's for sure. The Model 3 is what, $46,999 or $43,990 with the destination fee and anything like that. So that seems like a pretty good price at the end of the day. Of course, this You do not get an extra tax credit on top of this. Tesla is getting that tax credit because they are the commercial lender, or their banks are the commercial lender. So they must be getting, or they must be somehow factoring this into it. And then they're not just line iteming at 7,500, but you cannot file for on your taxes to get an extra $7,500 tax credit in 2024 when you file for your taxes. But still, this is a pretty good deal. I mean, let me know what your thoughts on it are. Do you think that this is the best deal? I mean, it's right in line, right? Usually the rule of thumb is if you can pay 1% of a vehicle of the MSRP as a lease payment, it's a good deal. So right now, what that means is if the Model 3 right here is $43,990, 1% is $439. So 1% of the vehicle as a lease payment. So that would be a good deal. And so now factoring in that a lease payment is $399 with no state taxes in New Jersey, that's a pretty slamming deal, I would say. Even if you're factoring in some electricity bill and the gas bill, I mean, $466 a month is $466 a month is definitely a slick deal. But let me know what you guys' thoughts on it. Do you think that would you lease a Model 3 for $399 a month, or is leasing, out of the cards for you? I've certainly have always not recommend Tesla leasing because of a variety of reasons. Well, maybe we'll go into that later on in the video today or stream today. But I've definitely not. I've never really been a supporter of Tesla leasing. But I mean, at the end of the day, if it can certainly fit certain people, like if you're someone that you think hardware 4.0 is on the horizon, or you think a new badass Highland Model 3 next generation Model 3 is on the horizon, then it might make sense to not buy one and just lease one instead, because then it's not your risk at the end of the day. It's Tesla's problem. You just give it back to them, and then you're on your way. Wipe your hands clean and be on to the next one. But we're going to jump into some of the comments and some of the questions. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. Thank you for joining in today. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description. There's a Patreon where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, so you can definitely check it out. But let's jump into some of the comments. George, if I don't owe anything to the IRS, the tax credit is useless. No, if you everybody pays. If you're a W-2 employee that makes over about $72,000 or $75,000, you basically pay federal tax credit, and you're gonna get that right back. I have a video explainer on the channel. Definitely search that out and check it out if you want. IND Fusion, hi Dennis. Do you expect any price drops on the Model Y long range? I don't think so at this point. Model Y long range seems to be holding pretty steady. If we were to take a look at the waiting for Tesla websites, pretty much any time there's a Model Y that pops up under 55,000, it disappears quickly. But maybe not. I mean, there's a couple right here. Ooh, this one's interesting. 54. This one's MSRP. It's got to be under the MSRP of 55,000. So there's a variety of them here, but this is Texas, Missouri, North Carolina, and Colorado. So, hey, it looks like there's some available right now if you want to. Harvey, Dennis, you see the price drops on the used refresh Model S? No, not yet. I haven't taken a look at that in a while, but I think last time we looked, the cheapest Plaid we found, 2021 Plaid, was $67,000. It did have like 70,000 miles, and the cheapest Model S long range was like, I want to say 72, but it had like 20,000 miles. But if they're even lower at this point, that's pretty sick. Maybe we'll jump into that in a little bit and take a look at the used Model S market. Boom, we need those price drops on the Model S. Yeah, maybe we'll jump into that. I haven't not looked at used Model S prices in a while, so maybe we'll add that to the topic list, and maybe we'll jump into that next section. So today, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the Model S. A bunch of you have commented on the comments about taking a look at the used Model S market, so we'll just quickly pivot and take a look at the current Model S market, both on the new side and on the used side. I've had a Model S. I had a 2022 Model S refresh, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was changed my perspective on Teslas completely. So we'll take a look at it and jump right into it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, but more on that later. So let me just jump in really quick. Let me log into my Mannheim account, so I can take a look. And of course, we'll go to cars.com, we'll go to car gurus. I'm just pulling up all the tabs right now so we can take a look at it. So let's just jump into it. So right here, so thank you for Boone and Harvey for giving me the Model S idea. So let's take a look at the current Tesla market. So this is cargurus.com. And CarGurus tracks all the retail prices or retail list prices of the model or any used vehicle. And you can see right here, 2021 is when that refresh started to come into play. 2022, pretty much all of them are refresh. But you can see right here, 2021 dropped 14% in the past 90 days. Average price, 95. I remember when there was a while where average price was all over $100,000. So they are starting to creep down just a little bit. I mean, I think the good deal is if you can get a Model S 2021 for like, because you got to remember, this retail price of the Model S was $80,000 as a starting price at one point. So if you can get a Tesla Model S 2021 for like, I want to say 70, maybe 65, that would be a pretty good deal. So taking a look at the auction values for the long range only, it's kind of muddy because 2021 there was refresh models and non-refresh models at the same time. But we can take a look at here. Ooh, wow, holy crap. So just only 3 days ago there was a Tesla Model S. We don't know if this is a refresh or not, unfortunately, but we can only assume had 16,000 miles and it went for 64.5. So the dealer bought that. Most likely that probably wasn't a refresh, but we can only assume, right? Here's another one that went on January 20th for $70,000. So 20,000 miles on that one. They both were in decent condition, 4.5 and 4.4. So let's take a look. Let's just see what's the cheapest Model S refresh that we can find across the country to see, you know, what is the lowest possible price on a 2021. And also we got to remember there's also another website called Cars and Bids, which if you watch Doug DeMuro, this is also a really good site to see what the market for certain vehicles are. So, but first we'll go to cars.com first and see. So we'll scroll through here and see if there's any refresh. This kind of looks like a refresh, right? But I can't tell. It's got like, let's see. It's real. No, this is a regular one. This is an old one. Sorry. So let's take a look here. It looks like there's still not any refreshes. This one definitely not. No. We'll see. What is the cheapest one? This one's been in the market. I recognize this thumbnail. It's been there for a long time, that's for sure. Okay, we're getting into the 72 range now. So I guess they're still kind of holding strong. That would make sense that there's a demand point right there. Okay, so right here, 2021 Tesla Model S long range. This is definitely a refresh one. 15,000 miles for $74,000. And the reason why I think 70 or low 70s is a price point, and that's for sure on what you should actually pay, because you got to look at historical prices, right? So in when the refresh first came out right here in 2021, in January of 2021, you could actually lock in a low price of $80,000. And that's exactly what happened. That's what a lot of people did. So you got to remember, there's people out there that may have paid 80 to 85 before taxes, tags, and fees, and they've owned it for 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years. And so the natural course of depreciation should be 10% a year. Now we're already in 2023. So a Tesla Model S for 85 brand new should be low 70s as a natural price, that's for sure. And that's what it's actually reflecting. I would say this is a decent deal. I mean, $73,000 for a 2021 Tesla Model S refresh. I mean, if this has full self-driving, that might be the deal right now. I mean, of course, this is a pretty much basic one. I'm pretty sure this has black interior, but you know, you can slowly start to trickle up. This looks like another one. I can tell because of the bumper is definitely different on a refresh, but 74,000. So the average price definitely seems to be like 74. I would say low 74. This one has definitely been in inventory for a little bit. I recognize it, that's for sure. And my strategy is to actually go after private sellers and start to figure out what your price point what you want to pay, and just start throwing offers out there. And you'll find that, some people are more inclined or motivated to sell, and some aren't. So, and then the other thing with dealers, you got to look at timing, right? So right now is an amazing time to buy from a dealer because it is the last week of the month, and managers and salespeople might be a little bit more motivated to take up an offer to try and get a deal on it. So this is, that's the cars.com. We can also go to Cars and Bid, because this is just like eBay, right? We can see what the market is for vehicles that are being listed or at least previously sold. You can see here is another refresh. Yeah, this is a refresh. 2021 Model S long range refresh, had full self-driving, went for $74,000. Here's another one that does not have full self-driving. This is also a refresh, $72,000. So the market has definitely tanked. It is dipped like we predicted, and the deals are certainly there. Now I kind of want to lower my price expectation maybe to like 67, 65, because it definitely will get there. Taking a look at the Model X, doesn't seem like any of these are refresh models, and it still seems like those are in the 95, maybe $98,000 there. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. What do you think about, are you shopping for a Model S and waiting for a refresh? I think, there's certainly, like as we predicted, whereas it's not even a prediction, right? Used car prices will go down. What is your buying price if you're shopping for a Model S? Are you looking to get one for 70, maybe even 65? Because it will get there sooner or later, especially as more 2023 model years start to come around and pop up. So definitely, that's for sure. But if you're just joining in, we're going to jump into some of the comments and some of the questions. But before we get into that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon. Down below in the description, there's a Patreon where you can check it out and support the channel. And there's a variety of benefits. So definitely check out if you're interested. Andrew, hey, hi Dennis. Thanks for the content. Placed my Model Y long range on order in person on January 13th. VIN assigned 118, took delivery 124. That's pretty quick. Congrats to you. Definitely congrats. And what are you going to do to your Model Y? What accessories and services are you going to do? Check out the channel, because I did make a video about accessories and services if you want to check that out. Boom, need the prices drop on the Model S. Exactly. Sai, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining in. Boone, over here's the in Connecticut. They're still going for like 85K and up. Yeah, sometimes you got to travel for the deal. I always spread my radius out when I'm shopping for a used car, at least 500 miles, maybe even 1,000, because that's where you have to travel for the deal. That's for sure. Crazy. I'm looking to get a Model S around 65,000. Well, I mean, shoot your shot, right? Don't be afraid to place some of these offers out here. Maybe not the dealers, but if there's private sellers out there, definitely, you might get, some no's, but there's no harm in that. I mean, the worst they could say is no back to you. Like, this one seems prime, because I'm definitely sure this guy or girl has been trying to sell this vehicle for a bit, because it's been sitting for a while. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to throw a 65K offer out there. The worst they can say is no, or maybe they counter at 70, and then you have someone that you can deal with and potentially make a deal at the end of the day. So we're going to jump into our next topic. So welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about why Tesla Supercharging is more superior than the rest of the competition. And I'm really just talking about Electrify America, because Electrify America has the only charger that seems to be more built out in a lot of other places. And so we will talk about, well, more specifically, we're going to pull up a tweet and a video that our Twitter friend Kilowatts actually made that really did a good job of showing the differences, because, sometimes seeing is believing. And, we always talk about how Tesla Supercharging is much better than the rest, but seeing how, because I've been to these Electrify America chargers, and it is certainly a process to try and get it started. So if you're even like wondering or worried if you thought you made the right decision by buying a Tesla, or thinking about buying a Tesla, some of the competition, because I've been there. I've thought about buying other EVs, specifically Rivians or Hyundai Ioniq 5s, because of the certain deal. Like Hyundai Ioniq 5 has free charging for 2-3 years. But I've also been to an electrified chargers, and it's It's not as easy, that's for sure. So we're going to take a look at it, see this video. But before we do that, if you're just jumping in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, but more on that later. All right, so this is it. This is a tweet from Kilowatts. He made a great comparison side by side video. You can see on the left is a Tesla supercharger, and on the right side is Electrify America. And you can quickly see that on the left side, he pulls up to the Tesla supercharger, he pulls the nozzle out of the dock, puts it into his Tesla Model Y, or probably Model 3. It looks like a Model Y, and it starts to charge ASAP. And that's literally the experience. Because of the technology that Tesla has with the charging system and the Model Y, it automatically recognizes the Model Y plus your account and starts to charge and or bill you. On the right side, though, you can see it's a little bit, it's not as easy. You have to unplug the unit from the Electrify America station, plug it into your vehicle, start it with the app or start it on the screen, make sure it's starting or press start or whatever. And then the third thing is, even if you press start on the app or the screen, sometimes it also doesn't start to charge, because you can see right here, he posted a screenshot in which the charging time was 24 hours when the car was actually plugged into the Electrify America charger, and there was no charge pass through the system. So, I've experienced this. Maybe there's other electrified chargers that are a little bit better or more newer, but I've certainly experienced this process with a couple of my friends that have the Polestar. And at the end of the day, it's just not as built out or as easy as going to a Tesla supercharger system. So this is a great video. Shout out to Kilowatts on Twitter and YouTube for putting this together. I know he posts a lot on TikTok as well, so give him a follow, and he's got some good EV content at the end of the day. But this was a great idea. I wish I thought of this idea to put both of them together, because Tesla supercharging is superior in many ways, not only with the ease of use, but also the amount of locations it is everywhere. So, if you're certainly thinking about other EVs, like I certainly have, like buying other competitor brands, sometimes you get stuck because of the charging network. That's for sure. So let me know what your guys' thoughts on it. Have you been to an Electrify America charger? Is it not what you see in this video, or is it different? And also, have you been to a Tesla supercharger and notice how easy it is? That's for sure, to plug in and be on your way and charge up and go on to your next day's destination. It certainly makes road trips a lot easier, that's for sure. So we're going to jump into some of the comments and some of the questions, but today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description, you can check out the channel, check out my Patreon if you want to support the channel. But let's jump into the comments. IND, hi Dennis, do you expect any price drops on Model Y long range? I don't think so. I think they've certainly hit their equilibrium point. They know that any Model Y under 55K is going to sell ASAP, but I do feel like maybe they'll start removing wheels or something to try and get vehicles under 55K, but I don't think they're going to do any price drops just yet. Abraham, still can't find a good deal on a 2022 Model 3 long range. Are you lowballing sellers out there? Are you putting in offers? Because it's a numbers game, right? So if you offer 100 people, a certain price, maybe 10 people will get back to you, and then maybe 5 people you can actually try to strike a deal at the end of the day. Who ate my ego? Abraham, might as well get a performance, honestly. Yeah, it really depends. I would say start offering on all vehicles, Model 3 performance as well, and then just see which one is the best deal at the end of the day. We'll see which one, if you're buying used, see which one gets into your strike price. It makes it a good deal for you. Micah, welcome. Took delivery of our Y on Wednesday, took it straight to PPF and ceramic, couple scratches and paint chip on the hood, and driver's door is a little hard to close, but no major issues. We did have matrix. All right, congrats on that. How much are you paying for PPF and ceramic? I usually try and recommend PPF for like $1,500, ceramic like anywhere from $500 to $1,000. But if you're getting a combo deal, I want to hear about it, because we need more recommendations out there. Because I only have recommended shops in California, but if we had like a repository of people that have gone in and bought Teslas recently and recommended other shops in other states, I think that would be pretty good, because get questions all the time on like what to actually do and where to actually get these services done. That's for sure. But congrats to you. Congrats that you got the vehicle. And hopefully you enjoy it in good health. Happy Hippo, I got a CCS adapter and used EA. It was awful. Unplugging, wiggling it around, pulling it in, pulling it out, putting it back in. After 5 minutes started charge, I returned it to return the CCS, only doing supercharging. Yeah, at the end of the day, like supercharging, Tesla supercharging is 100% better. That's for sure. I think CCS, it would be good to keep it. I mean, that's an expensive adapter, right? What, 200, 300 bucks? I would say it'd be good to keep it if you do a lot of road trips and there's not a lot of Tesla superchargers on the way. But at the same time, Tesla superchargers are pretty much everywhere at this point. Mika, we had a Leaf before. The other networks are unreliable. Yeah, that's for sure. Abraham, what price should I aim for though? Whatever is like you basically want to try and figure out what wholesale is and then offer just a little bit more than that. If you're looking for a 2022 Model 3 long range and a brand new one is what, $50,000 minus the $7,500 tax credit, so 43, I would say anywhere from like 39, 38, maybe even 40 if it's like the perfect color combination. That's for sure. Paul, welcome to the stream. Welcome to another video. Thanks for your articles. That was a pretty good one about the tax credit, and it seems like maybe Tesla is factoring in that $7,500 tax for it, but we're going to get into that in the next topic after this. Happy Hippo, I did expel PPF today, $1,300 for the hood, bumper, lights, mirrors, fog lights, and sign. Oh, that's a pretty good deal. I would maybe even do that. That's a good deal, that's for sure. And then maybe ceramic on top of that, and then you're good for a while. Pruitt, what is the best website for private sellers, for you to sell or for you to find private sellers? Because if you're looking to sell, then I would say just stick to the typical ones, cars.com, AutoTrader, all that stuff. If you're looking to negotiate and find vehicles, I recommend Facebook Marketplace, Car Gurus, cars.com, AutoTrader, pretty much anywhere, because it's a numbers game. The more offers you throw out, the better chance you're going to get a deal. Omer, how can we know if the vehicle is going to come with matrix headlights? I think the best way is to figure out what your VIN is and see if other people that just got delivery and has matrix headlights, and figure out what their VIN is and see what order are you after or before for that. Sorry, talking a lot. But yeah, so this next topic, let's see here. What else we got today? We're taking a break there while I drink some water, stretch a little bit. All right. So this next topic, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to talk about how you can actually get 3.23% financing APR through Tesla financing, or actually Tesla leasing financing, because leasing is just like another way to finance a vehicle. And there is actually a way to actually get that low, sweet APR of 3.24%. But you have to lease. I found an actual breakdown of where it actually shows this, and it's, maybe it is a decent deal to go through this avenue if you feel like it's worth it. I mean, and we'll talk about why you should actually lease with this type of payment as well. So if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, but more on that later. All right, so let's take a look at this. This kind of all stemmed out from yesterday when Tesla put on their homepage on their website, Tesla Model 3 leasing starting at $399 a month. And spoiler alert, that to get to that $399 a month payment, you have to have incentives, whether it's a discounted price somewhere or a lower financing rate, because leasing is just another way of financing. Even though you don't actually own the car, there's still interest, there's still fees, there's a bunch of stuff that goes into it. And so this might be where Tesla is hiding or implementing the $7,500 tax credit, because with other manufacturers out there, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, even Volkswagen, there is, when you lease a vehicle from them, because it's an EV, they pass that $7,500 tax credit right to you. But taking a look at this lease, because if you go to tesla.com support/Tesla leasing, and we got it down to factor into the lease right here, you can see there's a monthly payment of $399. They've got a variety of payments or fees listed down here. But taking a look at this, there it is right there, 3.23% financing APR on the lease. Now, it's different, right? When you lease a vehicle, you're only financing what you use, because there's like residual value and stuff like that. We can kind of go into it a little bit more if you guys want me to, and talk about how leasing actually works. But you're only financing what you use. You're only financing that portion of that 3-year use portion of that. So to kind of quickly sum it up, like if the vehicle price is $43,000 or $44,000, they're factoring in, there's 3 different numbers you have to take a look at. There's residual value, which basically means how much of that, what's the percentage of the value of that vehicle at the end of the lease. And then there's a money factor, which money factor is basically APR or financing of a lease. And so what you're financing is what you use. So if they feel like, or if Tesla sets the residual value, or the banks that Tesla's work with set the residual value. So if the price of the vehicle is $44,000, and they say, in the end of 3 years, that vehicle is going to be worth 50% of the vehicle value. So let's say about $21,500, you're basically financing the other 50%, $21,500, over that 3-year term. And that equals to that lease payment. So that's why leasing is just another way of financing a vehicle. And you can see right here, as clear as day, they're saying that the lease APR is 3.23%, which that sounds phenomenal, right? At the end of the day. But the one thing that's different here, that's not with other manufacturers, is that there is no line item for the $7,500 tax credit. When you lease, like we could quickly try and pull up like a Volkswagen ID4 lease. If you look at any of the offers, you can see that there is a $7,500 tax credit looped into that price. It's just line item on the offer. Let's see if I can try and find a payment for this, so we can see it in, like, none of these for some reason are going to the actual Volkswagen website. They're all going to like ads and stuff like this. I don't want to click on the ad because I don't want to charge them, but I guess we will at the end of the day. But let's see. So $7,500, receive a $7,500 EV lease bonus. And so it's right here, $7,500. It's in fine print, so sorry if you can't read it. $7,500 EV lease bonus cash. So on the deal, on the structure, it is factored in $7,500 right off the price of the vehicle. But taking a look at this, I mean, they're somehow giving the customer a 3.23% rate. So Paul, if you're actually watching, they might be using the $7,500 lease cash, maybe holding half of it for themselves and giving the other half to buy down the rate. Because if you were to go to finance, we know that the finance leasing on Tesla financing is the Tesla financing rate is 5.34%. And so on the Tesla leasing, that's over 2 points less. So they could be using a portion of that $7,500 because they get it. Every single time Tesla leasing, if they're leasing through Tesla financing, they get that $7,500 credit to Tesla. They can choose to pass to the customer, and whereas some of these other companies like Volkswagen are passing it straight to the customer, Tesla, it looks like, might be either holding some of it or using some of it to get a lower lease payment, which then would equal this $399 a month. So I mean, why should you consider this? Why should you lease? I mean, there's certainly a lot of drawbacks. We can go through the drawbacks first with Tesla leasing. The first one, and probably the biggest one, and why I've never recommended leasing a Tesla, is because you are, just like Hapo Hippie is saying, is you are renting the vehicle. And it's really a lot more prominent with Tesla because you cannot buy out that vehicle at any moment to take advantage of the equity if there's any sort of profit. And you must give it back to Tesla at the end of the lease. Whereas if you lease other manufacturer cars, almost all of them, you get the option at the end to buy it. So it's basically a better way of a risk mitigation because you're leasing it. And then at the end, if you want to buy it, you could buy it. Or if you don't want to buy it and you want to get a new car, you can return it. But with Tesla leasing, that is not the case. You must give it back to Tesla. And that's true with the Model 3 and the Model Y. And so all that equity you've paid down, you basically give it all to Tesla, and then Tesla can take advantage of the market and resell it as a used car for whatever they want to. The other reasons why, that's like pretty much the only reason why you wouldn't consider the Tesla leasing, or why you shouldn't consider Tesla leasing. But there's other benefits to Tesla leasing. If you're writing it off for a business and you want like a cleaner paperwork because it's a fee and all that stuff, and you want to just use that, payment to write off, that could be a consideration why you would want to lease. Another reason, if you just don't want to deal with it, right? You just want to lease a car, pay a certain amount of payments each month, and then get a new one, because maybe you feel like Tesla Model 3 values are going to go down anyways because of a next generation Highland, a new one coming out maybe next year. So you want a short-term thing or a 3-year thing that you don't have to worry about trying to mess with any of the buying and reselling after that. So that could be a pro to some people because they don't want to deal with it. But, I feel like we want to take advantage of any equity certainly as possible. And the third reason, why Tesla leasing might make a lot of sense, and this is actually a pretty big reason, is if you don't qualify for the $7,500 tax credit. If this is confirmed that Tesla is using a portion of that, or at least giving the portion of the tax credit to the deal structure to get to this 3.23% APR, then that would make a lot of sense. Because if you're someone that did not qualify for the tax credit anyways, like if you're someone that makes above, these stipulations makes above $150,000 or $300,000 as a married couple, then it might make sense to get something out of it, right? So that's why leasing might make sense, because then you would get that $7,500 tax rate, at least, or some of the $7,500 tax rate. I mean, I'm still waiting for confirmation if that's how they're getting to this 3.23% APR, but it only makes sense because this was definitely not 3.23% APR in Tesla leasing. That's for sure before this, but definitely some pretty interesting stuff. I mean, this goes to show that Tesla is thinking creatively, that's for sure, to get around some of this, or use that $7,500 tax credit on leases commercially or as a commercial bank. But I would love to see them incentivize it for more. I mean, they certainly probably are testing this on the market with this new banner essentially on their website, $399 a month. And so my question to you is is this a good deal? Do you think $399 a month for a Tesla Model 3 is where it's at? And if you're in New Jersey, it seems like this is where it's at. I could probably strongly recommend it because there is no sales tax, it seems like, for EVs in New Jersey. So this is a deal broken down by Chris Dungeon on Twitter, where it seems like you can get essentially a Tesla Model 3 for $399 a month, because there's no sales tax. I mean, there's probably other fees, DMV fees or something like that, but still, a brand new Model 3 for $399 a month with $10,000 down, that seems like a pretty good deal at the end of the day. But let me know what your guys' thoughts on that. That's for sure. But we're going to jump into our next topic, but we're going to jump into the comments. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon. Down below in the description, there's a Patreon where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me where you can ask me any questions one-on-one about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you schedule the call, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources that I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible price. And right now on my buying guide, there is a credit union that has interest rates as low as 3% for 60 months. So definitely check it out if you're interested. And as an added benefit, I respond to all DMs or direct messages into my Patreon members in the Patreon app. So definitely check it out if you are interested. But definitely some interesting stuff. I mean, it exists. I never thought I'd see the day where I would see 3.23% APR on a Tesla lease right now. So I mean, maybe Tesla will get creative. I mean, this goes to show if Tesla opens up Tesla Financing LLC and starts to write deals on loans, they could pull on a lot of demand levers if they need to. That's for sure. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments and some of the questions. It seems like leasing seems to be a hot topic for you all, especially with this 3.23% or $399 a month payment. But it's cool that we were able to find this page where it broke out some of the deal a little bit to show this 3.23% APR. Baka's World, I feel like Tesla is going to offer discounts for the Model 3 toward the end of the quarter. I don't think Tesla likes to have existing inventory in the quarterly reports, and Model 3 has inventory. Yes, 100%. If you've been following the channel, we've been following, these quarterly months. I've always said that Tesla follows in quarterly cycles, and so March is probably when we're going to see some discounts, or not necessarily discounts, but some incentives. In December, which is usually the hottest month to buy a luxury vehicle, Tesla introduced that $3,750 discount, then the $7,500 discount, the order was $3,750 discount, then 10,000 supercharger miles, then $7,500 discount throughout the end of the day. Misty, that's incredible. What about a one-time lump lease payment, or is it too good to be true? Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that's a question for Tesla Financing, or maybe even the chat. We could ask them if you wanted to see, because there is one pay lease where you could get a little bit of a bigger break on the interest rate, but $399 times 36, yeah, I don't know, maybe you'd save like 1%. That's for sure. Kompang, I do not understand about lease. We pay that until we own. No, leasing, especially with other companies, you pay until you own, and then you have an option to buy. But leasing with Tesla, you pay to rent until you give the car back, basically. My dad always told me never to lease. I want to lease. It can make sense at the end with some situation, with some manufacturers, leasing can make a lot of sense. I would say right now, it depends on your situation. If you don't qualify for the $7,500 tax credit yourself, it could make sense. But until Tesla opens it up to where you can buy that car at the end of the term, which they might, because if everybody else is getting burned with used Teslas, so is Tesla themselves. That's for sure. Happy about, yeah, I never lease, not worth it. Yeah, not with Tesla leasing at this stage. I could recommend it for some people, but not for everybody. Rich Moria, who got the lowest rate for financing? I've made a ton of videos on the channel, and I'm probably going to make another update one, but search it if you want to. But if you don't want to search for my old previous financing videos, check out the Patreon link down below in the description. Lima Yang, should I go with full XPEL Ultimate PPF and XPEL Prime XPEL Tint, all for $68,800 from a model performance? I don't know. Full PPF on full car, you really have to love your car a lot. And I feel like, so typically with normal PPF, just on the full frontal, I say that's like a $1,500 to $2,000 job. I say if you're going to keep the car for 4 to 5 years, okay, sure, that could make us a lot of sense. But full PPF around the whole car, I mean, you got to think, repainting the whole car is $2,000 to $3,000. You really have to keep that car for 5-10 years for it to make that worth it. That's what I would say. Happy Hippo, leasing is like renting. You do not own the car. You're borrowing for a short period of time and giving back to dealer with a ton of fees. Dennis, that rate might be for people who have excellent credit over 750 or score even 800. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, they always post the lowest rate on these pages, even on the loan side, 5.34%. That's the lowest rate. That's for sure. But I don't think it was 5.34%. Or 3.23% on the leasing side before, and that's how they're getting to this $399 a month payment. They must be factoring in the $7,500 tax credit in some form or another. Ricardo, lease is normally not a good deal. Some exceptions exist. You're doing 2 operations at the same time, buying and selling the car. You preset depreciation amount based upon the miles and future value. Yeah, exactly. And also risk mitigation as well. When you typically, let's just take Tesla leasing out of the factor equation, but let's say it's BMW leasing, and let's say it was all things equal, or I guess maybe not all things equal, but you could buy the car at the end of the lease. If you lease a BMW and you're paying those monthly payments for those 3 years, let's say, we all know that getting into a car accident, knock on wood, can really devalue the vehicle. But if you're leasing it, it's not your problem anymore. You get into a car accident, it devalues the vehicle. It's got a bad Carfax, knock on wood, and then you give it back to BMW, and that's BMW's problem at the end of the day. Let's say, the flip side, everything is fine, and so you keep your car in perfect condition, you lease it for 3 years, and nothing happens to it, and the equity, it starts to go up, and the value of it is a lot higher. You can then decide, I want to buy this vehicle, and then sell it or keep it or whatever at the end of the day. But with Tesla leasing, it's their vehicle. So it literally is just renting. If you're accident prone, then I can see where it could make a lot of sense. Or if you live in an area where cars just get beat up a lot, maybe snowy areas or stormy areas or hail areas, tornado areas, then I could certainly see where it could make a lot of sense. Or if you don't have a garage, like your car sits outside day in and day out and the paint's going to get ruined, I could easily see why that could make a lot of sense. That's for sure. Not with Tesla. What exactly? Well, that's lame. Tesla is a close and lease. Yeah, exactly. Happy Hippo hit it right on the nail on the head. Closed and lease, where all the other manufacturers are open and leases. Can you buy a Tesla in a state with no state tax and drive to your state? LO? No, I wish. That'd be sick, right? Unfortunately, you have to. And really, the key thing is just registering it in New Jersey. Whether you own a place or have an address, that's how you take advantage of that state tax eligibility. Ricardo, you could, but when you register in the state, you would have to pay taxes. Yeah, exactly. You sound like my father. Exactly. Ricardo, some Tesla deals will not sell to you in different states. Yeah, they have strict rules. So the best way to figure out is just put in the zip code on the Tesla website. That's for sure. But yeah, New Jersey is sick. Like the fact that you don't pay any tax on EVs. I mean, I feel like that's the only state that I've heard it so far, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, that's sick. If you're in New Jersey, I would say this might be the deal for you. And if you if you only lease your cars, then that could certainly make a lot of sense. Maybe I'll make a couple videos on why you should lease, and maybe another video on why you shouldn't lease. But yeah, maybe that's for sure. But we're going to jump into our next topic and talk about, let's see, let me get the windows up, drink some water, make sure my throat is okay. So welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to talk about this headline I just picked up or saw. But it looks like Elon Musk has met with the Biden officials or top Biden officials to discuss EVs in Washington. So what can we speculate on this, or what most likely will be happening moving forward? I mean, we all know that Elon prefers volume over margin, but he also, I would say, loves profits as well. So what can we take a look at this, or what can we infer in this, and most likely what will happen in the future if some of the dominoes start to play into effect? So if you're just jumping in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically talking about the best possible price on a Tesla, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel, but more on that later. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is from Reuters. People like to correct me in the comments. Reuters. Exclusive. Tesla's Musk meets top Biden officials on EVs in Washington. So it looks like Elon must have met with the administration to talk about electric vehicles and production and speed electrification of the U.S. networks, because supercharging, we already know that new MAGBAK CCS combination charger is starting to get rolled out. It's already been spotted and or leaked, and there might be a new one popping up in Hawthorne, California. But the other thing that could affect, a lot of people that watch this channel, that prospective buyers, is the IRS tax credit, the $7,500 tax credit on a brand new Tesla. Because right now, as it sits, the Tesla Model Y 5C is price capped or price locked at $55,000. And you got to remember what just happened the other day, this past week. The Tesla Model Y was increased $500. And that seemed like a weird move, right? It basically priced a lot of vehicles out of that tax credit because you really can't build a Model Y long range with too many options before it gets over $55,000. If you go with the blue paint and the white interior, it's bam, it's right over $55,000. So that's really weird. Like, why would they do that? Especially when, Tesla Model Ys in the current, there's not too many under $55,000, and anytime there is, they sell relatively quickly. So right now there's 254 brand new Model Ys available in the country for sale, according for waitingfortesla.com. Shout out to them for building a great site. And you can see right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. 4 Model Ys under $55,000. So you can really expect that because of that price increase of that $500, there was a lot more Model Ys that kind of push it above the 55K threshold. So what's the deal here? Why did they do that? Well, we know that from the earnings call, they basically took a lot of orders from the get-go. And so maybe they think they can't fulfill all these orders by March of 2023 once the guidance gets released. So it might seem like Tesla is going to increase the price a lot more in these next few months because they probably have enough orders and enough runway to get them past the March 2023 price point or time frame. Because right now, if you do not take delivery of a Model Y by March of 2023, you could potentially lose out on this $7,500 tax credit. And then whether that's March 1st or March 31st, we have no idea. We're kind of dependent on the IRS releasing more guidelines. And so I can easily see, this is my prediction, that Tesla is going to start increasing the price a lot more frequently in these next couple of weeks, maybe starting February. The second week of February, they could really, increase it another $500. They're going to make it so that, you could really only select one item, whether it's a blue paint color or just you can't even do the rims or white interior, probably not even white interior. And then we're probably going to make it like right under 54,990. And that's kind of what my prediction was a while ago, right? We actually did a price prediction stream or video and where we predicted what was the price of the Model Y long range going to be. And at one point I thought they were going to drop the price of the Model Y long range all the way down to 54,990 and kind of keep it locked at that, so you couldn't change any of the configurations at all. Because I really feel like coming March of 2023, when the IRS starts to release guidance, they are going to consider the 5-seat variant to be above an SUV, which would then raise the cap to $80,000. So this is Tesla's MO. They did this in the past. If we can take a look at this price history chart, you can see right here, all throughout 2021, they rose the price $500, $500, $500 every other week. And I can 100,000% see this coming very, very soon as we get closer to March, as we get closer to when the IRS released the guidance. So expect that. If you're looking to get a Model Y right now, you probably have an order placed in the queue, so you're good and locked in. But Tesla could push out your delivery to past April, and then you would lose out on that $7,500. So if you still have an order that does not have a VIN, check out the channel, check out the video. There's a video on my channel that's labeled "Do This Now" if you're unmatched with the VIN, because you need to try and get your account or your order locked to a VIN so that you can take delivery this month or next month. That's my advice. And because I could easily see this, I mean, history repeats itself. Tesla really only has similar strategies. They could easily start to raise the price $500, $1,000 as a time as we get week by week as we get closer to this IRS releasing the guidance, and then we'll see what actually happens at the end of the day. So let me know what you guys' thoughts on it. Do you kind of agree? And there's a lot of signs. I mean, there's a lot of quotes posted from the earnings call. I mean, here's a tweet from Christopher Dungeon, quote, expect Tesla Model Y prices to increase once the IRS classifies in March that the 5-seat variant qualifies as an 80K SUV EV price cut. So right now might be the best time and the only sliver of temporary time that you can actually get a Model Y for this type of pricing. So that's going to be a slick deal, and that's good for everybody. If Tesla raises the prices back up again, then everybody that bought before and everybody that's buying in the future, prices will hold and the Model Y will be a good deal. That's for sure. Let's see. This is a Tesla insurance. That was the other video I was going to talk about. I need to do more. Does anybody have Tesla insurance out here? I want to see if it's like a good deal or not. But here's another one where from the Tesla earnings call that since they lowered the price, they got 2x the amount of production, or 2x the amount of orders versus production. So they have a lot of orders that can basically get them through March of 2023. And that's why their website, I felt like at one point it said April, but I guess maybe it changed and now it's back to March. But it seems like they have a ton of orders that can get them through deliveries all the way through March of 2023. So now I'm kind of kicking myself. I kind of wish hindsight is 2020. I wish I might have gotten, a Model Y Longish, because it seems like there's a lot of indicators here that it seems like Tesla is going to push prices back up to where, not all the way where they were, but to where they were factoring in a $7,500 tax credit. That's for sure. But let me know your guys' thoughts on it. I'm going to jump into some of the comments and some of the questions. But before we get into that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel. And there's a variety of benefits, but include scheduling a call with me where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you schedule the call, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources that I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible price. And right now on that guide, there's a credit union on that list that has interest rates as low as 3% for 60 months. So definitely check out if you're interested. And as an added benefit, I do respond to all my Patreon DMs or direct messages in the Patreon app to members that sign up. So definitely check if you're interested. But let's jump into some of the comments and some of the questions. Mika, paint prep, full frontal PPF, top rear bumper, rear fenders, 2K, 1K tint, front windows, 300. Okay, that sounds like as much as it is here in California, maybe like a little bit higher, but that seems like a fair deal. That's for sure. Paul, very high if FSD works, very low if Model 2 is awesome. Gimmicky, yes. So disappointed. Not 10,000 down. I think you misspoke. Yeah, if we're talking about the Tesla leasing, 10,000 miles. Whoops, yeah, 10,000 miles, $4,500 down. But after you factor in like state taxes and fees, I guess New Jersey, there isn't, but other states, it's going to add that up to 10,000. That's for sure. Happy Hippo, yay, increase. Yeah, Tesla, I mean, this is just a slight blip. I mean, now we know, like Tesla, in the first quarter, Tesla sales are always historically lower for all manufacturers, all car sales. So Tesla kind of overreacted. So now maybe we can always expect in January of every year, they're going to do something to increase sales. Cake batter, nearly all Teslas in my area are white. Ain't no way I'm driving a white Tesla too. I mean, that's okay. Just wrap it, do it in a different color. I certainly feel like maybe I should get a Model Y now, maybe a standard range. Yay, I wonder if you can rent a lease Tesla to other people on Turo, for example, and is it worth it? I actually have a ton of videos on Turo and Tesla. You have to have the right mindset, and that mindset is your car is going to get beat up and you cannot care about it because it will get beat up. Yang, on your performance Model Y, does it come equipped with a comfort suspension? I had a 2021, so it did it. But check out, I do have some videos on Turoing. One of them, which I had to go repo my Model Y because it disappeared or the driver disappeared. So that was a fun video to make, and I'm safe at the end of the day. So that's all I can care about. Misty, I wish my insurance went up because I got a Tesla. My insurance went up. Yeah, check out Tesla insurance. I've gotten some screenshots from people that have done it recently. I haven't gotten a quote in a while, but I probably will. And maybe I'll make a video on it. Oh, no, I can't because it has a lot of PII. Yang, Elon stated it's only for standard non-performance, but also read that the performance now comes with comfort suspension. Yeah, I thought the performance did come with comfort suspension. Trent, almost got a Model 3 in December and my insurance would have doubled. Yeah, I do try and tell people that Tesla or insuring a Tesla is at least 10 to 20% more than a regular car. I pay anywhere from 120 to 160. I've heard people paying 200 to 250. That's for sure. Jinxed. We need more discounts. Model Y long range should be 45,000 and Model 3 long range should be 40,000. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, they would love, that would be sick if, those vehicles were back down to those prices. But I just realized something. So you know how they did that $500 increase on the Model Y long range? I guess they did not do that same increase on the Model Y standard range. That's I mean, if you're looking for the cheapest Model Y standard range, you don't care about range and all that stuff, that might be the deal for you. Trent backed out because I want to wait for new HD radar and hardware 4. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? They didn't really talk about this HD radar thing or radar on the earnings call, right? At least nothing that I saw or I wasn't really looking at, I guess, or maybe I missed it. Let me know if they talked about it because I didn't see anything about HD radar. I did see hardware 4 on the new Cybertruck, but nothing about HD radar, vision, all that stuff coming back with Tesla. Andrew, any recommended shops for ceramic tint or at a good price in SoCal? So I can tell you, I learned the hard way with trying to find a good priced tint shop. I went with probably the cheapest one that had decent reviews, and it was not good. So I've brought my past 3 Teslas to this shop now. It's a great shop. It's called OC Tint Solutions in Anaheim. Shout out to Jason, the owner. Hit him up. Ask for the Dennis deal. He'll hook you up. And really, I'm more about quality over. The price is actually still good. It's very in line with, or maybe even less than all these other shops, quality shops. But they do amazing work. They've done a ton of Teslas. Definitely check it out. I actually have a video on the channel where I took my past 2 Teslas to them to get it tinted. They do quality work. And really, really good. So Jason at OC Tint Solutions, just take a look at the Yelp. They have like a full perfect 5 stars. Trent, probably not eligible for 7,500. You as a person, yeah, then unless you lease. Misty, do it. Yeah, tempting, right? Tesla insurance not in New Jersey. Interesting. Like, I thought Tesla insurance was everywhere, but I guess I'm wrong. Maybe it's just California and I think Texas. They need to hurry up and get this out everywhere. I want to get a quote now because I'm interested. That's for sure. Misty, why, Trent, you might be waiting for a while. Hardware before it comes. Yeah, I'll wait. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. There's always another thing, a next thing on top of that. You can always be waiting for a new software because Tesla just innovates and pushes it forward. That's for sure. Happy Hippo. I had Geico for over 20 years with Lexus and added Tesla. It was almost double. I switched to State Farm and my insurance is still cheaper than Lexus at Geico. Yeah, Geico does not like Teslas. Geico I don't have good experience with across the board, but they definitely don't like Teslas. Tesla Vision, yeah, exactly. Yang, too bad hardware 4 is not retrofit from hardware 3. Yeah, Tesla Vision, I thought they were going to announce something with like the hardware, the radar coming back or something, or combination with Vision, but I guess like they didn't announce it. Only 10 to 12 states. Okay. Tesla insurance not in New York either. Yeah, they need to hurry up and get this everywhere because, I am scared about how Tesla insurance, they can kind of track you with your speed and stuff like that. But it seems like the rates are lower. I'm going to get a quote, just because I want to see, but it's always good research. I should probably make an updated insurance video on what my recommendations are, but a lot of them are still the same. I just recommend Costco and Wawa Nisa if you are in California, that's for sure. But yeah, thank you all for joining in. Thank you for joining in on the stream. Thank you for joining in on today's video. We talked about a variety of topics, that's for sure. But yeah, thanks for joining in. Thanks for hitting the comment button. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thank you for supporting. And yeah, we'll probably be back tomorrow around noon. And yeah, have a good night. I'm gonna go eat some tacos tonight. So thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.